Hello everyone, this is Ashish Sunny from Innovate Yourself. Welcome back to our journey into the exciting world of ESP32 and BLE. I'm thrilled to have you here for the continuation of our last video. In a previous video, we laid the foundation for BLE communication using the ESP32 and explored the basics of menu configuration and the code implementation. Today, we are diving even deeper. We will take a BLE data exchange to the next level and unlock more possibilities for your IoT projects. So grab your ESP32 board, fire up your coding environment, and let's get started. First of all, let's quickly recap what we achieved in the last video. We set up the ESP-IDF environment, configured BLE services and characteristics, and established communication between our ESP32 board and our mobile application. It was a fantastic start, but we are just getting warmed up. In today's video, we'll explore more advanced features of BLE, such as setting up the data characteristics, persistent BLE connections, making your device discoverable or non-discoverable, and controlling the LEDs. So this is all that we will be covering up. We will create a dynamic exchange of data between our ESP32 and a mobile device, making our IoT application more responsive and interactive. We will also dive into error handling and debugging techniques, ensuring that our project runs smoothly, even when the unexpected happens. Plus, we will take a look at the practical application. How about using BLE to control a smart home, monitor environment data, or track valuable assets? The possibilities are endless, and we will explore a few exciting scenarios. But wait, there's more. I'll also share some tips and tricks I have learned along the way to streamline your development process and troubleshoot common issues. Throughout the video, I'll encourage you to follow along. Experiment with your own ESP32 project and unleash your creativity. Building IoT solutions with BLE can be incredibly rewarding, and the skills you will gain are invaluable. So are you ready to take your ESP32 and BLE skills to the next level? I know I am. Let's embark on this exciting journey together. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your fellow tech enthusiasts. Alright, so now let's start with the coding stuff. You can see on your screen that we have the Git repository where I've already put the code, right? And don't worry about the code. I'll leave a link in the description. You can check the code from there, and you can accordingly start checking like whether it's working for you or not. But yeah, for now I'll explain everything, like what exactly I'll be covering up in this today's session, and what all we are doing in here. So I'll explain everything, right? So for that, just stay tuned so that you will understand each concept clearly, right? Now this is the code which I have in here, and this same code I have with me on my system as well. So let me go there and let's start understanding like what exactly I'll be showing you today, and what does the code do in this, right? So let me show you that. So let's go there. Alright, so you guys can see that here is the code with me, right? And in this code, like as I have already mentioned in the beginning, like what exactly we are doing in here, right? So let me just give you a quick overview for that so that you will get a better clarity on that, right? So basically what exactly we are going to do today is, like, first of all, we will clear, or let's say we will solve one problem which we had in a last video, if you remember that. And that was like when I was connecting my smartphone with my ESP32. At that time it was connecting, and when I was disconnecting it, it was disconnecting. But when I tried to reconnect it, at that time I was unable to connect that device again, right? So for that, how should I troubleshoot that? What should I do so that I can make my device again connectable, or let's say my device can connect again to my smartphone, right? So basically that is what we have to see right now. So for that, let me go to that code, right? And for that, basically you have to go to that event handler, which is this one. You can see this function, and if you guys remember, the same code we have seen in the last video as well, right? So it was that, right? So basically during the connection time, if you remember, like this is what exactly we are putting up here, which is just to advertise like, okay, this is the present state of your BLE, and on the basis of that, like whatever it should do, it should be doing, right? But if you remember, this was not there in my last video, right? So this code was not there, so that's the reason this code I have added in here. So basically what this code will do here is this is gonna advertise again that yes, we are disconnected from the device, so that again if you are making a connection we should be able to connect again, right? So that's the process, like how it's gonna work. So basically that is what is happening over here, right? Okay, so basically this is the way like how we are doing it, and with this what will happen is you will be able to reconnect your device to your smartphone. So basically you can connect your device multiple times and you won't face difficulties in making a connection between them, whether to connect it, whether to disconnect it, or to do it multiple times, right? So now you can do it multiple times, right? So we will see everything like at the end, so that we'll see like how the things are happening, right? So this is the first thing that we had to cover in the today's video, and that's done. Now the next thing is that we will also see like how to make a device discoverable or not. And to make a device discoverable, in current code, if you notice, like this is the current code. In this code what exactly will be happening is, when I'll flash this code to my ESP32 device, so at that time what will happen is, initially when your device will get on, and at that time your device, or let's say your BLE, will be active. But the thing is, your BLE will not be discoverable to anyone, which means nobody will be able to see your device so that they can connect to it, right? So this is the by default scenario. And once I will press my boot button, if you guys remember, in one of my previous video I have shown you like how to work with boot button, which is already there on ESP32. So if you guys don't know like how to work with it or how to handle that, so you can check my previous video. I'll attach the link in the description or with this video, so you can check that. But for now I'll use that boot button only. And what basically I'm doing with that is, I'll simply press that button for 3 seconds. Once that button is pressed for 3 seconds, after that what I am doing is I'm simply making it discoverable, right? And how I'm doing that, let me take you to that code. So for that, first of all, over here you can see this is the configuration, or let's say this is the pin which I have defined for my boot button. So you can say boot button, right? So this is the pin which I have defined for that. And in fact I haven't defined this. Basically this pin is by default connected to your boot button, so that's what we are using over here. And for that you can see that where it is, yeah, this is my code, or let's say this is my function which is actually executing this thing. Basically this is gonna check like whether you have hold the button for 3 seconds or longer, right? Or let's say or not, basically. So when you will press the button for 3 seconds, what will happen is it will simply execute, or let's say it will simply expose these things. Expose what? Expose whether it is connectable or not. In fact, basically what I have done is I've simply added this connectable feature also to this part only. Otherwise by default you will not be able to connect, you will not be able to discover it, right? So this is what exactly I am doing, and the same function I have simply called in here instead of calling it over here, right? If you guys remember in my last video, these configuration for advertise parameters were present inside this BLE advertise, or let's say BLE app advertise functions, right? So it was over there, right? So I have shifted that over here, and when this is gonna be active, when I will press my boot button for 3 seconds, this is what exactly I am doing with this, right? And to make this more clear, basically you can see like this is not just defined over here. Okay, basically I have to comment it out from here, and this will be available here, right? So you can see it is now global instead of having it like a local variable, right? So this is what we have done. And now with this what will happen is we will be able to make a device discoverable or non-discoverable depending on the press of a button for 3 seconds. This is what we are doing, and currently I have just done this for a single step. You can say like for holding it for 3 seconds only. That's the only functionality that I have added. But if you want, you can add up multiple functionalities or any other functionality as well. That's totally up to you, right? But this was my scenario, so that's what I have done today, right? So this was the second scenario, or let's say this was the second task which I had to cover today, and that is also completed. We will check that either, right? And now the last thing is that we have to control the LEDs, right? And for now, what exactly we are doing is we are having two LEDs. One is the inbuilt LED, which is already there on ESP32, and the second LED is the external LED, which I have connected to pin number 13, or let's say D13, right? So basically I have connected that LED to that pin number, right? And now for that, what exactly I am doing is I am simply setting up this thing, right? I'm setting up like what pins I'm gonna use and how I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use these two pins, pin number 2 and pin number 13, and I'm gonna use them as output pin, right? So this is how I'm doing it. And accordingly, when I will send the data from my application, this is what exactly I have done over here, right? So basically when I will say light on, the light should be turned on. When I will say light off, the light should be turned off. Or in simple terms, you can say we are talking about LED, not just light, right? Same way I have put the second one, and for that it is like LED on to turn on the light, LED off to turn off the light, right? So this is what exactly I'm doing. And I've also put a else part so that I can simply show you, like in case I'm putting or I'm sending some other message, so that message should be printed in just a normal way, like data from client, and that's the message, right? So this is how it should be working, right? And one more thing I forgot to tell you, like you can see this last line, X task create. So basically this X task create is just to call your function, or let's say to run your function in the background. So in my case, I'm using this boot underscore creds underscore clear. So this is the name of my function that I have given. So you can give some other name as well. That's totally up to you, right? So basically this is that function which I'm using right now, and that function I'm running in the background. So this X task create is just to create your task in the background, right? So this is what I am doing. So this is the complete explanation of your code, and I hope this is clear to everyone. But still, if in case you're not able to catch anything, or if you're facing any difficulties in anything, just feel free to leave a comment below in the comment section, so that I can help you out with that, right? So this is all about that. Now last thing is left for today, and that is to make the changes into the characteristics. But those characteristics changes I will not make right now. Firstly, we will see like whatever we have done till now, like these three steps which we will which we have covered today, right? So first of all, we'll check that, and after that, once we are done with that, I'll go for this characteristics part, right? So firstly, we are done up to that step. Now let me do one thing, let me flash the code, and let's see whether the project, or let's say whether the functionality is working according to the instructions or not, right? So let's do that. And for that, let me open up the terminal, right? So you can see the terminal is open. And one more thing, just to make you clear, my ESP32 device is already connected to the system. So that's why now I will be able to build the program, and I'll also be able to flash that to my ESP32, right? So I've already done that. So let me run the commands, or let's say run the basic commands, just to flash that. I'm not putting up any port number, because I want it to take it automatically, right? So I'm just skipping that for now. So let's run it to build it and to flash it and open the monitor. All right, everyone. So now you can see the code is built, and the program is flashed successfully to the ESP32 board. Now I'll open up the application, and in the application, I will show you like what exactly I just wanted to show you, right? So the first thing I was mentioning is like when I will start my ESP32, at that time, your device, or let's say your BLE device, will not be visible to you on your smartphone, right? So let me do one thing, let me scan it just to check that that whether it is available or not, right? So you guys can see on my screen like it is scanning, but till now we haven't got that BLE device which we have with us, and the name for that is BLE server, right? So BLE server, this one, or you can say the name is given over here, BLE server, right? So this is the name which we have given, but you can see it is unable to search for that, right? And the reason you know already, because we have already made it non-discoverable and non-connectable, right? So now how to make it visible, right? So you guys know, like, we have put a code that you have to press the boot button for 3 seconds, and after that we will make it discoverable, we will make it connectable, so that you can connect it and you can do the further executions, right? So now you can see scan is complete but no device is found, right? So now let me do one thing, let me press the boot button for 3 seconds and let's see what happens. Guys, can you see on the screen? We have got this execution, because in that function I have simply put this message, boot button pressed for 3 seconds. So this message I wanted, and we have got this message, which means this function has been executed successfully, right? So now I'll do one thing, I'll search this again and let's see whether this time it's available or not. Guys, you can see the first device, BLE-server, now this is available, right? So this is how you can make your device discoverable and connectable according to your requirement, or let's say whenever you want to make it discoverable or connectable, you can make it accordingly, right? So this is what we have done, right? So now I'll simply connect with auto connect. So you can see on my screen it's connected successfully, right? So first thing, we have already checked that whether it's discoverable or not, and now we are able to discover it, and now we are able to connect it. We have done that. So now the device is connected. Now let's do one thing, let's check the next thing, and that is that how we are gonna connect, or let's say how we are gonna control these LEDs, right? So for doing that, let me do one thing, let me send the requests, right? So let me send the request. Now let's control the LEDs which we have connected to the ESP32 board, right? So all right guys, so now let me press the button for 3 seconds so that it will allow me to see the BLE device. Okay, so you can see BLE server is available right now, right? And I think it's already connected as well. As you can see, it's showing me the option to open the tab. So I just opened it, and now you can see that we have the characteristics for that. And now let's try to communicate with it and let's see whether it's working or not, right? So let me go in here, and now let me first of all turn on the light. So I'll type light on. So can you see guys, this blue light is turned on, or you can say the blue LED is turned on, right? So this is the way how we have done it. Similarly, let me turn on the second LED as well, and for that we have the command as LED on. So can you see the LED is turned on, right? Now I can do the reverse, LED off. Same thing for the other one, light off. Oh, I think something went wrong, so it didn't took that. Let me send it again. Right, so you can see this is the way like how we can simply communicate with a BLE device, and we will be able to control the LEDs. So just like we have communicated with the BLE device and we have controlled the LEDs, in the similar way you can control your other appliances as well, right? So this is the way like how to. And now we can move ahead and we can check the next thing, and that was for data characteristics. Or let's say you can see now we have two characteristics with the different UUIDs. First is like 0xFEFO, second is like 0xDEAD. So in this way we have these two, right? But now we can add up, or let's say we can create more characteristics, something like this, right? Now let's see like how to do that. So for that, let's go back. Okay, so this is what we have done. Now over here we will go in here into the characteristics part, and now you can see right now we have two characteristics over here, right? So now I want to do one thing. I want to create one more characteristics over here, right? And one another characteristics that I want to show you right now is for a read only, for example, so that it will be a bit easier for us to understand and to use it, right? So let's say I'll give it a name, read 2, for example. This is the name that I'm giving right now. And for that we have to create a function just like this. Just copy this, paste it, and I'll give it a second name 2, and here I'll send up a different message. Let's say message from innovate yourself, right? So this is a message. Just copy this, do the same thing here to check the length of that, right? So this is the way, like what I have done is I have simply added one new characteristics for that. And in the similar way, you can add up multiple other different type of characteristics as well. Because right now you can see we are just using read and write operation, right? But if I will press control or command button and then I'll click on that, you can see you will go inside and you can find out there are many other characteristics or many other operations that we can do. Whether you want to broadcast that, whether you want to read it, write it, notify it, indicate it, authenticate it, or reliable write, or the many operations which we have in here, right? So you can select that accordingly, and accordingly you can mention it here, and you can do the modification into the characteristics, right? So currently we have added one new characteristics. So let's do one thing to check that. I will go back in here, I'll stop this, and I will run this command again, build it and to flash it again. Let's run it. So you can see the program is uploaded successfully. Now the same thing again, the device is not discoverable and connectable yet, so that's the reason we will not be able to see it. So just hold the boot button for 3 seconds and it will be available, and you can see as soon as it is available, the device is already connected, right? So it got connected automatically because we already made the connections with this, right? So this is what we have. And now if you will open this one, unknown services, now this time you will find out that there is one more characteristics over here, right? But I think I made a mistake over here, that I forgot to change this UUID, so I should change this one as well, right? But yeah, still we have it. Let's see like whether we are gonna get it or not, right? But yeah, it's okay, it was a read operation, so that's why the same UUID was also accepted over here, and you can see we have the message as message from innovate yourself, right? So this time it's just a normal operation, so that's why I'm using the same UUID. That's fine, but it's better you keep it a different UUID for that, so that you will have a better identification of them, right? So just make it a different one, right? So this is the way like how we can do the characteristics, or let's say how you can update the characteristics in your BLE operations, right? So this is the way how you can do this. All right, everyone. So now the last thing is left. Rest everything we have already covered, and we have already tested that as well, right? And now the last thing is that to check whether the persistent connection is getting established or not, right? So this is what we have to do. So now you can see the ESP is connected to the smartphone, or let's say to the application, right? You can see over here, disconnect, it is showing to me, right? Now let me do one thing, let me disconnect it. Now you can see BLE gap event disconnected, right? So in this way it is getting disconnected. Now let me try to connect it again. Now you can see it is connected successfully. BLE gap event connect, okay, right? And also the discoverable mode is 2. Similarly, if I will disconnect it, it will get disconnected. If I will connect it again, it will get connected again, right? So the same thing you can repeat multiple times now, right? So this is what exactly you have to do to achieve all these steps using the BLE. So I hope now the things are clear to you, but still if you're facing any difficulties in understanding this, feel free to leave a comment below in the comment section. And also if you like this video, then do click on the like button, and if you're new to this channel and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, do click on the subscribe button so that you do not miss any videos from our channel. And also you can press the bell icon if you want to get a notification whenever we'll upload a new video. And please do share this video with everyone, all those who are looking for the topic related to BLE, ESP32 or ESP-IDF or anything related to technology. Then just recommend this video to someone, because that will help us grow our community and to serve you better. So that's all from my side for today. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye and happy learning.